There's a story in the book of Luke, chapter 1, that I love so much. It's the story of Zacharias. So, Zachariah was performing his priestly duty, and then one day Angel Gabriel appeared to him, and the angel greeted him and said, God has heard your prayers, you're going to have a son, you're going to call him John. And Zachariah was like, how will this thing be? I'm old, my wife is old, we are so old. And the angel said, oh, because you did not believe, you will be dumb, you will not be able to speak. And just like the angel prophesied, the angel said, Elizabeth, Zachariah's wife, became pregnant, and Zachariah was dumb. Now, this is where I love, this is the part I love most. Now, Elizabeth delivered the baby, and then eighth day, the friends, the family, they came around and they were like, "Oh, now Zacharias is dumb. He can't talk. Let's name this child Zacharias." And then the mother said, "No, no, he will be called John." And they were like, "Ah, yeah, what's John? John is not familiar. Okay, let's ask the father. Let's ask him. Let's give him something to write on." And then they gave him something and they wrote the name John. Ah, okay. And they named the baby John. And the Bible said immediately he could talk. Now, do you know why I love this story? I love this story because your identity is not who people say you are, it is who your father calls you. You know, one would think that the people would have named the baby for Zacharias, but because only the father has the right to name the child, they could not name that child. And so they had to just, okay, since we cannot give the child a name on our own, let's just call this child Zacharias. They had to call him, they wanted to call him his father's name. But thank God, Elizabeth said, no, 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 he'll be called John. And that is because only a father has the right to name his child. Now, where am I going with this story? Now, we've talked about sonship, that we are children of God, we are sons of God. But whose name have you been bearing all this while? The name the world is calling you, or the name God Himself called you? If God is your father, then that name you carry around, that name you go around, calling yourself, or the name people call you, who actually gave you that name? Is it God or the world? Is it God or the situation you are passing through? Maybe it's even your pastor that gave you that name. But I'm telling you, you are a child of God. You need to understand that you have a name that was actually given to you by God. So I want you to understand something, that whatever God calls you, that is who you are. Your situation does not determine who you are. What you are passing through does not determine who you are. It is whoever God says you are that you are. The fatherhood of God. See, in the book of Genesis, chapter 3, look at the fatherhood of God. Adam and Eve, they are just committed a sin. They are just saying, and then, you know, and then before God actually said, you people should just leave, God had to kill an animal, and then He used the coat of the animal to make clothes for them. The fatherhood of God. So I tell you, even when you make mistake, whenever you make a mistake, and then there's the devil just come to you and say, see, God has forgotten you, God is going to kill you, God is going to deal with you, God is going to punish you. Tell the devil to keep quiet. The Bible, God calls you His righteousness in His Son. You are God's righteousness through Jesus Christ. That is who you are. So do not listen to what the devil calls you. Do not listen to what situation calls you. Do not even listen to what Nigeria calls you. Call yourself what God calls you. Don't call yourself what that situation calls you. You are who God says you are. Because only a father can name a child. See you in my next video.